Hello, I got a great question in yesterday from a newer community member. If you want to join us, you can always go to halfsizeme.com/join and get in that way. But she asked a great question. She said, hey, Heather, what's all this fuss about maintenance calories? Like, I want to lose weight. Why would I want to know my maintenance calories? How does that benefit me at all? And I am going to tell you, I have had a full-time business of one-on-one coaching for the last 5 years, weight loss. There is not one client that has not needed or used their maintenance calories in their time working with me. And I'll tell you why. Because of birthdays, anniversaries, social get-togethers, vacations, emergencies. Maintenance calories are your safe spot. They are the place you can go to when you can't hit a calorie deficit or when you don't want to hit a calorie deficit. Keep in mind, my approach is that you are going to be doing things you can do for the rest of your life. You've got to enjoy your life. You've got to be able to go on vacation and have a good time. You need to be able to deal with family stressors and not overeat and kind of completely go off the grid with your habits. So what that means is that when these really big inconveniences or great family times come up, you may not want to be eating at a calorie deficit, so you need to know an alternate place to go. I have another video called Park the Car, where I talk about how when we're trying to lose weight, we're going forward in the car. And when we are gaining weight, we're slamming the car in reverse and hitting the gas and going backwards. And that's where most people stay. They're either losing weight or slamming the car in reverse and going backwards. But this concept of parking the car is saying, I don't necessarily know if I can go forward right now, but I know I definitely don't want to go backward. So I'm going to sit here, put the car in park, and I'm not going to move at all. That's maintenance, okay? So why do we need maintenance calories? Oh, the list I have for you. First off, for these emergency situations that we just talked about, for these family moments, right? Secondly, metabolism. So many people write me and say, my metabolism is broken, Heather. I don't think my metabolism is okay. I've been dieting for so long. Take a maintenance break. The best thing you can do, your body learns to adjust to exercise. It learns to adjust to food. So if you believe that your metabolism might be problematic because you've been eating the same 1,200 calories for the last year, then what you may want to do is plan a maintenance break. It will actually be extremely psychologically helpful for you in this journey and physically helpful for you, because just like metabolism can be downgraded, it can be slowed, it can also be increased with food, different macronutrients, with the type of exercise you're doing, all of those factors. So just want to encourage you to think about it a little bit differently. Think of it like maintaining an engine in a car. You don't want, and if you're a mechanic, you know this, you don't want to drive your car at the consistent 30 miles per hour every day, every time you get into it. Sometimes you want to take it out on the highway and open it up to 65, 70. Why? Because it revs the engine in a different way. Your metabolism is the same thing. If you're eating the consistent 1,200, 1,500 calories every day for months and months, years and years, never binging, never breaking from that, more than likely your engine is that 30 mile per hour engine that needs to be opened up on the interstate. So you want to think about it a lot differently, okay? So all the social get-togethers, being consistent with tracking and doing the behaviors, because guess what happens to people when they say, Heather, I can't hit my calorie deficit. I'm going to a wedding. Screw the tracking. I'll eat what I want and deal with the consequences later. And that is really why maintenance calories are helpful psychologically, because ultimately the goal is for you to learn how to be consistent with tracking, even if you're not hitting a calorie deficit, even if you're eating more than maintenance. But if you have the target of maintenance, it will give you a better chance at doing minimal, quote unquote, damage when you go to these events, right? You'll be thinking, okay, maybe my goal is 2,000 calories today instead of the normal 1,500. I've got an extra 500 to play with, so I can ultimately make this whole wedding thing work. it gives you options. So maintenance calories are good for metabolism maintenance. They're good for psychologically helping you stay consistent with the process when you're in situations that don't lend themselves to hitting a calorie deficit. And they also help minimize overeating and saying screw it to the process. So I hope all of these reasons really resonate and help. And honestly, again, in the time I've been coaching one-on-one, and I have worked with a lot of people, I have never seen somebody not use their maintenance calories. It is almost a requirement. But if you look at any diet or diet book, you'll never see this talked about. Yet I think it should be chapter 1. I think it should be chapter 1. I think it should be, let's learn your maintenance calories. So that way, as you're losing weight and inevitably life happens, pandemic anyone? You know how to go about a day-to-day process of consistency with habits, but eating a little bit more to where you feel a little less anxious and stressed. You're taking some pressure off yourself. And when you have fun social outings, you have an alternate calorie target to aim for. By the way, in chapter 1 it would say, by the way, this is how you'll be eating after you lose the weight. So it would be like demystifying for you the end part of your journey, or the forever after part of your journey, which is you maintaining your weight loss into the golden years of your life, right? Which is whatever you're doing to lose this weight is what you need to be doing to maintain your weight. And I think that should always be chapter 1 of any program. I think it should be, if you go to a clinic and see a doctor, should be the very first thing you talk about. I believe it should be the cornerstone of your process. If you don't know what maintenance looks like for you, you're setting yourself up to be the on or off dieter. You're setting up yourself for burnout on your metabolism, burnout psychologically. You're going to feel like you got nowhere else to go. And that's just not true. I wouldn't be here all these years later had I not really made that a big focus for myself. So I encourage you, please hear me on this. Dial in, find your maintenance calories, give yourself that safe spot to move to when you're playing this game of weight loss and thinking about how this is going to go long term. You guys have a great day. I hope I answered the question well, and I'll talk to you soon.